everybody! Welcome back to the show. Now today we'll be discussing the book A Tale of Two Cities, Charles Dickens' most possibly greatest piece of work. And none other than he himself will be talking to us about it. So let's welcome Charles Dickens!
Thank you.
So Charles, thank you for coming on the show today. Now, before we jump into an analysis of the major themes of your little work of literary art, let's just give a brief outline of the plot. So, 1775 takes place during the French Revolution, and Dr. Manette is released from prison, and he meets his daughter Lucy, where he is then recalled to life, as you so gently put it. And relationships develop, and the family, who's now reunited, they meet some people, and the daughter Lucy, she falls in love, and ultimately it's a great ending. That's all I can say, really, at this point. We don't want to give it away, do we?
No, we do not. No, we do not.
If it had been possible, Miss Manette, that you could have returned the love of the man you see before you, self-flung away, wasted, drunken, poor creature of misuse as you know him to be, he would have been conscious this day and hour, in spite of his happiness, that he would bring you misery, bring you to sorrow and repentance, blight you, disgrace you, pull you down with him. I know very well that you can have no tenderness for me. I ask for none. I am even thankful that it cannot be.
Without it, I cannot save you, Mr. Carton. Can I not recall you, forgive me again, to a better course? Can I in no way repay your confidence? I know this is a confidence. I know you would say this to no one else. Can I turn it to no good account for yourself, Mr. Carton?
Yeah! Let's go! For you and for anyone dear to you, I would do anything. A life you love. My dear, there is an upper window in the prison to which Charles can sometimes gain access at 3 in the afternoon, when he can get to it, which depends on many uncertainties and incidents. He might see you in the street. He thinks if you stood in a certain place that I can show you, but you will not be able to see him, my poor child, and even if you could, it would be unsafe for you to make a sign of recognition.
Oh, show me the place, my father, and I will go there every day.
What? Walking here again, citizeness?
Yes, citizen.
Ah, a child too, your mother. Is it not a little citizeness?
Do I say yes, Mama? Yes, dearest. Yes, citizen.
Ah, but it is not my business. My work is my business. See my saw? I call it my little guillotine. La 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 la, la 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 la, and off comes its head. I believe that there had been a strong and extraordinary revival of the train of thought and remembrance that was the first cause of the malady. Some intense associations of the most distressing nature were vividly recalled, I think. It is probable that there had been a dread lurking in his mind, and those associations would be recalled. Say, under certain circumstances, say on particular occasion. He tried to prepare himself in vain. Perhaps the effort to prepare himself made him less able to bear it.
Charles. Can I call you Charles?
You can.
Thank you. All right. So, do you think Carton truly loved Lucy?
I do. I think this because no man would take their own life for someone else, and the only reason that this would happen is because of love.
That's powerful. All right, so essentially you're saying love drove him to sacrifice himself.
And that is back to my main theme. Love is the driving force. It's deadly.
So how would you define love then, if it's so deadly?
Love is very hard to define. It is.
Oh, Charles.
Love is many things. We know this. But love, most of all, is selflessness.
Charles, do you think Carton was being selfless when he sacrificed himself?
He was driven, clearly, by love. That's why he would
was.
sacrifice himself for what he believed in. And what he believed in was the love of Lucy.
So love drove him to be selfless.
Right. Love drove him to be selfless, and love drove him to his death.
Oh, indeed it did. Clearly, love is a central theme of the novel of yours, and you incorporate it in your work in numerous ways, one of which is Lucy and Sydney. But where else is one place you... Okay. Where,
I like that, yeah.
where is one place during the power that the... Okay. Where is one place that the driving of power love is incorporated maybe on like a smaller scale?
It's a great question. There was a part I wrote in this book. It's where Lucy had to stand outside every day of the jail.
Yes.
For 2 hours. Every single day. And the reason why she did this is in hopes of cheering up and making him get through life in jail.
Right. So, you would say that her love for Charles drove her to do that. That is...
Absolutely. And this is another example that I put in this book to show the scarceness of love, as she's risking her life to...
Wait, clarify. Why is she risking her life?
She's risking her life because she's showing up illegally in this jail. She's trying to communicate.
Ah.
She's trying to communicate with Sydney.
All right. So Charles, do you think that Lucy, she risked her life in this selfless act that was a sacrifice driven because of love? Do you think it was less of a sacrifice because Carton was in a similar situation? He died. Lucy didn't.
No, I do not think this, because love is derived from the same intentions.
That's profound. Thank you. All right, Charles Dickens, do you think Lucy had any other intentions in waiting outside that prison cell, or was it purely driven by love?
No, it wasn't, because if there was no love within that relationship, there would be no reason for her to do so.
So you take away the aspect of love, and then she has no cause.
Exactly, no cause.
So you'd say it's purely based on love that drove her to her actions?
Purely based on love.
So you'd say that love is a driving force.
I would.
And that's the power of love, it's a driving force.
Is it-
Charles, now I think there's a third example of love here shown in this novel, but I would say it's a very different type of love. You know, I think you know what relationship I'm talking about. What relationship am I talking about?
The relationship between Lucy and her father.
Ah, but in the beginning of the book, the doctor, he was a little out of shape now. Huh.
Yeah, he was. He was in prison for quite some time, and he did not see anyone that he could care for.
He had lost his mental grip.
He
huh?
did. He was not a part of reality anymore.
Ugh, that was very sad. Charles, now what brought him back?
Simple answer, Lucy.
Oh, is that really a simple answer though? What exactly about Lucy?
Everything about Lucy.
How can love fix someone's mental sanity?
Love can do a lot. It has endless capabilities.
So Charles, why don't we talk about this honeymoon scene? Lucy just left for her honeymoon and left the doctor alone without her love, and he kind of retreats back to his bad mental state where he loses his grip on reality. How does that represent how love is a driving force, exactly?
I have a passage I like to read.
What a treat.
It was a hard parting, though it was not for long, but her father cheered her, and said at last, gently disengaging himself from her unfolding arms, "Take her, Charles, she is yours." And her agitated hand waved to them from a chaise window, and she was gone. the corner being out of the way of the idle and the curious, the preparations having been very simple and few. The doctor, Mr. Lorry, and Miss Pross were left quite alone. It was when they turned into the welcome shade of the cool old hall that Mr. Lorry observed a great change to have come over the doctor. As if the golden arm uplifted there had struck him a poison blow. He had naturally repressed much, and some revolution might have been expected in him when the occasion of repression was gone. He needed her love so badly that he was put back into his failed state.
So her love saved him.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a profound way to show it. Wow, so his mental health, it really did depend on Lucy, huh?
Yes.
Wow, Charles, you're just an extraordinary author.
Stop it. In the conversation between Dr. Manette and Mr. Lorry, it's clear that her love is what brought him back.
Oh, most definitely, Charles Dickens. So, in the prison scene, when, Lucy is standing outside the prison, looking in at Charles, you say this is an example of how love is a driving force, but can you elaborate?
You see, the wood sawyer threatened Lucy, but this didn't matter to her, because love drove her to sacrifice.
Wow. All right, so the relationship of Carton and Lucy, that's obviously a key part of your novel. But how does Carton's love lead him to his death?
That's a good question. Carton loved Lucy so much that he would do anything for her. He would risk anything for her happiness. Due to Charles's situation, he risked his life for Lucy's happiness.
Carton, that is.
Carton.
Ah, because he loved her.
Right. Love was the driving force.
All right, well, thank you for
Thank
coming,
you.
Charles, to discuss
Thanks.
A Tale of Two Cities.
Everywhere you look,